48 hours after the Boston bombings, the country remains on high alert. Envelopes containing suspicious materials, they're being sent to Washington, D.C. officials and the president himself. While in Boston, the federal courthouse was evacuated at the beginning of our show, and the Department of Justice just canceled a 5 p.m. press conference on the bombings because of that evacuation. Joining us right now to discuss all these security concerns is Richard Falkenrath. He served as part of the Homeland Security team under George W. Bush and was Deputy Commissioner of the New York Police Department. Richard, it seems like we're hearing a lot of things right now, a lot of information. It seems, at least in the case of the two incidents in Boston, to be false alarms. Is this to be expected in the aftermath of what happened? Yeah,
a couple different things going on. First, the government has a very fast-moving, active investigation. Actually, two investigations underway now. One related to the Marathon bombing, the other the Ricin letters. So they're busy, and they're focused on their internal job, and dealing with the media and the general public will happen when they're ready for it to happen. So it could be that they have a press conference at 11 p.m. if there's an arrest. I mean, that's not unheard of by any means. The other thing that's going on right now is we are at a condition of heightened alert. That's unusual. We haven't been in such a situation for quite a while. And when you're at a situation like this, two things happen. One is people are more vigilant to things which they ordinarily would see now look suspicious. And two, when the authorities respond to suspicious incidents, it's covered by the media, which feeds the situation, which feeds the perception.
So it's almost
it's a bit of a
vicious feedback loop.
And this is familiar to me. We lived through it in the months after 9/11, when we were putting the country on alert because we were receiving threat information, and it was a very frustrating, unsatisfactory process, I must say.
Well, think about it. Today, the Boston courthouse and the Brigham and Williams Hospital both evacuated, both, as it turns out, thankfully, false alarms. Yesterday, LaGuardia Airport in the morning. In the afternoon, a U.S. Airways flight at Logan Airport. 4 incidents. How do we balance vigilance with not overreacting?
Not particularly well. I mean, as a country, when the country gets nervous about being attacked again, this is what happens. This is just sort of the noise that occurs. One of the president's jobs here, and he doesn't have that many things to do about the actual investigation. He presides over it, but it's really running the field. But one of his jobs is to communicate with the American people and get the tone just right. The right level of concern and attention, but also calm and downplaying irrational fears.
Who coaches that?
Critical.
You learn it on the job, and it's tough. They haven't had to do this yet. All the major security incidents that have happened under President Obama were resolved by themselves on the same day. So the Aurora shooting, the Fort Hood shooting, the underwear bomber, the Sandy Hook shooting, they were all done. The perpetrator was killed or apprehended immediately in all those cases. This is one where it goes on for a period of days at least. And they haven't had one of those yet. The Bush administration had a couple.
Yeah. So how do people sort of, to Adam's point, you've got a balancing act. How do people sort of get through these next few days while they wait and hope that they find the person or people
responsible? The general public who isn't involved in counterterrorism or intelligence, don't let this affect your daily affairs at all. Just proceed as normal. Follow it to the extent you're interested in. But there's